And it has been a busy year, last year, full of stuff that you know about so well. That book, Spare, Omid Scobie's book as well, naming the alleged royal racists, remember. And after such an eventful 365 days, what does 2024 have in store for the monarchy? Let's find out from royal commentator Michael Cole on this one.
Will it be a good year or a bad year, do we think?
I think it's going to be a very good year. Could I just say Happy New Year, Isabel?
Happy New Year.
Eamon.
Thank you,
could
Michael.
I just say, Danny Boy to broadsword, you know, I'm with you again on this one.
Was good, wasn't it? Although, just to pull you up, it was broadsword to Danny Boy, not Danny Boy to broadsword.
But I'm Danny Boy going back to broadsword. You're broadsword.
Gotcha. Okay, got you.
All
Very
right.
good.
And can I just say, you mentioned the Dirty Dozen. I went on the set of the Dirty Dozen in Hertfordshire with Muhammad Ali. He went and visited Jim Brown, who's in the film, of course, a former American football star, and he went to visit them. And at that time, Muhammad Ali was in a very bad place. He was captured by the black Muslims, and they were all there in their red bow ties, and he was very morose. He was very unhappy. It was not a happy visit, but that's just history. That was 1966. We're talking about 2024, and it's going to be a busy year for the King and Queen. They're completing their midwinter break at Burke Hall on the Balmoral estate, and there's a lot of travel in prospect because of the monarch's 14 overseas realms. There haven't been many visits in recent years. The late Queen, of course, towards the end of her life, was unwilling or unable to make long journeys. But here we see the King on a previous visit. That was, I think, to Dubai at the climate conference. But toward the end of the year, in October, there's the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa in the South Pacific. And the King and Queen will combine that with visits to Australia and New Zealand. And I think there should be a visit to Canada during this year, because, as I say, these overseas realms need to see their monarch from time to time. It'll also be a time to test the popularity of the monarchy in Australia. Recent polls showed that 56% of Australians were in favour of the monarchy in the way it works now. And we'll see how popular they are. They have made a very good impression. I mean, this was a wonderful event, which was just shown there in the White Drawing Room in Buckingham Palace, with the Queen hosting that charming little blind girl who sang in a choir there. Wonderful moment. You can't buy that. The child couldn't see that room, but that was the room where the Queen had tea memorably with Paddington Bear. We'll never forget that. Probably one of the highlights of her reign.
So all of this, Michael, leaves us asking the question: what of the in-betweeners, Meghan and Harry? What have they got to buy? What gold dust?
He's turning 40 this year, is Harry, and Archie's turning 5. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, Harry. Yeah. And his son Archie will be going to school. That's their big excitements, I think, for this year, for 2024. Milestones.
Yeah, as Isabel, the great tragedy is, of course, that the King never sees his grandchildren, his Californian grandchildren, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. When the Queen was alive, and there was thoughts of Prince Harry leaving his cottage, Frogmore Cottage at Windsor, he said to his father, well, if you kick me out, don't you want to see your grandchildren? Well, the fact is, the King is not seeing his grandchildren, and I'm sure that's a great pain to him, because every time you see the King with his family, it's very obvious his tactile approach. He shows the affection to his family that perhaps as a child he didn't receive himself. So here we see Meghan and Harry in another one of their projects. Their problem this year is to come out of another box, to find something new to say. We've heard all the criticism relentlessly, repetitively of their own family. I mean, I think it's worth remembering, you know, we just had Christmas, which is a time for families. I'm afraid the Sussexes didn't get that memo. And what do we have? We have a situation where Meghan is hardly on speaking terms with any member of her family, apart from her mother and one niece. And he, of course, is not on speaking terms with any member of the royal family, apart from Prince Andrew's daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. So that's a very sad state of events.
We've got to stop speaking terms with you, Michael, but the whole Andrew Fergie situation, that's something I'd like to talk to you maybe tomorrow about there. And I have to say, my friend, you never cease to amaze me. Paul Coyte and I, mouths open at that
jaw on the floor moment.
Dirty Dozen story. Absolutely amazing. So that castle, the Gestapo castle, was in Hertfordshire, it wasn't in Europe.
It's the place up the A1 on the left where they have the pop concerts. That's where they filmed it.
Is it Nebworth?
Nebworth, thank you very much. It's all in the background. They built the prison camp in the background.
Yeah.
And the execution, where Lee Marvin arrives for the execution, the hanging at the beginning of the thing, that takes place inside the Nebworth house. So it was all shot there. I went up there to cover it. I was working for UPI at the time. And Muhammad Ali was captured by these people, and there was about a dozen of them in their red bow ties going everywhere with him. He was afraid to speak to anybody. He got on terribly well with Jim Brown. They were buddies, you know, they were banging fists and hugging each other. But I felt very, very sorry. It was before Muhammad Ali came out in his full blossoming and the person that we saw on chat shows and around the world. Very sad event, 1966, making that great film.
Very good, my friend. Lovely memory. Thank you very much, and a happy new year to you, Michael. Thank you very much.